E.S.S. Wellington, An Interstellar Tale by J.N. Wdowski. For your full enjoyment, be sure to read or listen to the end. Let us know what you think. Positive and negative comments are both welcome. Chapter 2, The Signal. After 25 hours, the DMAS generators had reset and were ready for Wellington's first waypoint jump back to the nearest starbase. Captain Mueller felt a moment of relief that the aliens that destroyed the Grant had not followed them. Sitting at his desk in his office, he dictated his captain's log. Crewman Richards, Ortega, Shimkim, and O'Henry were lost in the first salvo of the battle. The crew is understandably shaken. Hell, I am shaken, he thought to himself. I am extremely proud of how they have been able to remain professionally focused. I am recommending Lieutenant Stenval for a Silver Medal of Merit for his discovering the alien message in the neutrino scans of us. An average sensor officer most likely would have missed the pattern. Entire crew deserves recognition for their performance during the battle. Battle? He thought to himself as he paused dictating. He continued his log. Correction. It was not a battle. We never even detected the enemy. Our defenses were knocked out, and the Grant destroyed in less than a minute. We never had a chance to fire back a single salvo. This was not a battle. It was a massacre. Stopping again, Mueller looked at his collectible leather-bound copy of The History of Space Force by T.S. Teller, a book he had read a half-dozen times from cover to cover. He reflected from the book how self-assured humanity had become. After 300 years of expanding out into interstellar space and colonizing new worlds, he thought how cocky they had become. Humanity had run into alien life multiple times. A dozen were even sentient life forms. Most were not spacefaring species. Of all the sentient worlds, only 5 had at least sublight-capable ships. The Golgar of Kepler 1649c, the Cygnor of Kepler 186f, the Traplish of TRAPPIST-1e, the Bradley of Kepler 452b, and the Shingnes of Shing 4. Yet none could match human technology. Humanity for the past 3 centuries has been the dominant civilization in the known galaxy. He looked around his captain's office, aware of the privilege he had in commanding the Wellington, an Alexander-class deep space cruiser. The Alexander-class starships were the most advanced starships ever constructed. He then thought of the Grant, a sister ship of the Wellington, turning within seconds into a silent ball of light. She was destroyed, in the blink of an eye, by an unknown and undetected alien ship, or perhaps a base. Mueller hoped that these aliens of the Holden star system were only protecting their homeworld and were not planning to expand outward. If they did have the desire to, humanity had nothing that could prevent them from doing so. Instead of humans colonizing new worlds, it could be Earth that is colonized. He looked back at his copy of The History of Starforce. Is this the last chapter? He thought out loud. Seeing that the computer had recorded his outburst into the captain's log, he ordered the computer. Delete that last entry. End log. His personal communicator chimed. Captain, we are ready for our first jump, Mumdingo informed him. Proceed, Mueller gave the order. For 1 second, the stars outside his cabin window streaked before returning to their normal pins of distant lights. Position? He questioned his helmsman. 10 light years from our last position, between 3 unknown systems, Mumdingo replied. Begin the resetting of the DMAS generator for the next waypoint jump. Aye, Captain. Mueller had not slept for the past 28 hours. After they made their escape from the Holden system, he had been too anxious about the unknown aliens changing their mind and pursuing them. He purposely had not relayed the alien message they received to Starforce Command, thinking that once he did, the unseen aliens would no longer have need of the Wellington delivering their warning. He felt safer they held onto the message for their own protection. His worries of them being followed to the Regis system did not allow him to sleep. Now that they were 20 light years away from the aliens, he thought he could finally get some rest. Just when he was about to retire to his inner captain's cabin, his telecom chimed again. Yes? Ensign Rogers appeared on his handheld device. Captain, I am picking up radio signals. Radio signals? We're in deep space. He struggled to keep his eyes open. Background radio signals are natural, pulsar, solar flares, hydrogen emissions. Aye, sir, but these are not background noise. They are emanating from one of the nearby systems. It is about 2 light years from our position. Meaning they're 2 years old, he replied, knowing Rogers already knew that. Record them and log them. Perhaps a research vessel may be interested in examining them at some future date. Sir, these are not natural. They are intelligence signals, Rogers explained. Intelligent? Mueller realized he was not going to be able to finally sleep. How? It's a television signal. I am looking at an alien TV show. I do not understand the language, but I think it's a sitcom. A sitcom? Mueller asked. How do you know it's a sitcom? They have canned laughter, she replied. I checked other wavelengths, and there are other shows being broadcasted, sporting events, news broadcasts, even what I think are soap operas. You're joking. Mueller was struggling to stay focused. I'm not, sir. See for yourself. Mueller looked up at his display on his office bulkhead. 2 humanoid-type aliens that had never been encountered before appeared on the screen. They were covered from head to toe in light, soft, short brown fur. Under their chins and down the front of their necks, their fur was a patch of white. Atop of their heads, they had coarser black hair that traveled down the backs of their heads and down the backs of their necks until descending under the collars of their bright-colored shirts. They seemed to be in a domestic kitchen, with a cooking fire pit in the center. Their heads were a bit elongated, compared to humans. They had light green, human-like eyes. Their ears on top of their heads were deer-like and would move directionally towards each other as they walked and talked in a foreign tongue. Their noses and mouths were short snouts, like a raccoon's or badger's. They were arguing with each other and then suddenly embraced and started kissing passionately, as alien musical instruments began to play romantic music. The image faded to black. Fading back in, the scene was replaced with a different alien standing and speaking into the camera. It was holding up a can with illegible writing in its raccoon-like hands. A commercial? Mueller responded out loud. Your orders, sir? Rogers asked. We're not going anywhere until the D-mass generator resets. I need some shut-eye. Schedule a meeting with senior officers in my office in 7 hours. If sensors pick up any contacts, wake me. If not, I don't want to be disturbed. He uncontrollably yawned. Aye, sir. The communication ended, along with the alien television broadcast, on his office bulkhead monitor. 7 hours later, they were joined by Commander Frost for the meeting. According to our primary mission, we should investigate the source of these transmissions. It is why we are out here, to discover Class T prime worlds and contact sentient species. Frost, we are all very much aware of the Wellington's prime mission. We just lost the grant trying to investigate a possible Class T prime in the Holden system. Mueller was surprised he needed to explain this to his first officer. My prime mission, our prime mission, as senior officers, is to protect the lives of our crewmen and women. We should investigate this world, Novikov pointed out. We can transmit the alien message in a binary code on the spooky comm, and let them assemble the images as we did. Why haven't we done that already? Questioned Dr. Kumar. They wanted us to relay the message back home. Mueller looked at her. I figured for the safety of the crew, it was best we held on to it until I knew we were not being followed. Well, they haven't followed us, Wolowitz pointed out. Perhaps they have no intention to. From the message, they may only want us to stay out of their system. Or, as we have all read the travels of Glenn Yeager aboard the Polo, they may not have FTL engines, like the Xingnis didn't. In Ambassador Ford's journals, his first mission to Kepler 1649c, the Gwalgars were only at the verge of escaping the gravity of their world. Perhaps these aliens do not have FTL travel and are unable to pursue us. Or, they have made their point for us to stay out of their system and have no desire to pursue us, Dr. Kumar added. Mueller thought, were they in the clear? Were they out of danger and far enough away to safely relay the message? He made a command decision, picked up his personal communicator, and connected to his communications officer on the bridge. Rogers, begin transmitting the Holden binary code to Starforce Command. Aye, sir, she acknowledged. He then connected to his helmsman. Mumdingo, as soon as we are ready, make a jump for the system transmitting. Aye, sir, he responded. Are you sure about this? Wolowitz asked. Will you have the shield generator back up and running before we jump? Mueller asked the chief engineer. They already are, he reported. Good, and no, I'm not sure about this. I am hoping Frost and Dr. Kumar are correct that the Holden aliens are not able or willing to come after us. But Frost is correct. We are out here to make contact, and whoever these people are, they are clearly a new sentient race. It is our prime mission to investigate them, so prepare the ship and crew for first contact. Aye, Captain. They stood from the conference table to return to their stations. Be sure to continue Chapter 3, Too Late.
To support the author, please like, share, comment, and subscribe.